Sometimes hearing about other people's depression can help you find the strength to get through your own, and that's why I thought that today's idea for this video would be good, and I really hope it does help some of you.
Hi guys, I'm here today to talk about how I dealt with my depression. Now, I know a lot of people have a taboo about depression and what they think is ideal in this world, and unfortunately there are more people these days being diagnosed with depression.
I think I first experienced depression when I was in grade 8. It was June, July of my grade 8th year, and I was only 14.
My depression actually started when I was 15 years old.
I had absolutely no clue why I was feeling so down.
It felt like there was a cloud in my head, like everything was blurred, nothing was clear, and I couldn't function.
I didn't have many friends to begin with, and those I did have, I didn't want to go out with them. I didn't have the energy to go to school.
I wouldn't go out, I wouldn't socialise with my friends, and for a 15-year-old that's not normal.
I used to play hooky so often just to get out of going to school because I didn't want to see all those people at school who just judged me. Because quite frankly, what kind of teen, depressed or not, wants to get up at 6 a.m. just to go to a school full of people who judge them?
Mum then took me back to the doctor to explain obviously the symptoms that I was having. I was crying all the time, I wouldn't talk to people, I wouldn't even step outside my front door.
My experience of depression was very mild in grade 8. It wasn't that serious, but I did start self-harming in grade 8.
The depression actually got a whole lot worse at a point in my life when I turned 18.
And I remember one of the things about when I was depressed that scarred me the most was when I told my friend about my self-harm and she saw my cuts. My friend actually told people, "Oh no, don't even worry about her, she's just cutting for attention." And I think that was when I really fell hard, because she was my one friend in that school. She was the only friend I had, and she was saying that I was cutting for attention.
I'm not going to go into reasons as to why this depression was that bad, because I think things should be kept in the past, and it is private to me, and it means a lot that I don't tell you why my depression was that bad.
And from this, rumours started around the whole school that I was attempting suicide and I was an attention whore and all these things.
I'll give you a glimpse of the story of what happened. I was 18 years old, I was in a relationship with someone, and he wasn't in a good place himself.
I got through it though. I stopped self-harming and I kind of just moved on from grade 8 because I only had one more year in that school before I was leaving, and I was so happy for that.
He ended up being taken into hospital because he tried to commit suicide, and I didn't know that it was that bad.
And grade 9 was probably my hardest year at that school ever. It was probably my hardest year at all, because in December of my grade 8th year, my dad moved out of the house.
He then attempted to try and hurt me to a point where I have 2 nice scars on my arm from where he tried to cut me with a knife.
I wasn't sad about it because I knew that was probably what was best for them, and I think the hardest thing that year was probably seeing my brother break down. He wasn't fine, and I wish I would have seen that before he broke down, and I've always felt guilty about that.
He was then taken in to a mental hospital and was diagnosed with being schizophrenic, as well as suffering with depression. My depression started before he was put into hospital.
In May of my grade 9th year, I got a boyfriend. He was younger than me by a year, but I thought he was mature. I thought that he was clever. I thought all these things about him. I thought he freaking walked on water, basically. It was one of those kind of relationships.
Things weren't going well. There were points in my life where I thought I couldn't cope anymore. My ex at the time, obviously my boyfriend at the time, which was him, there were things that weren't going right in the relationship. He wasn't being nice to me towards the end. We broke up, and then I found something out that then led to an awful lot of bother between my family and his.
We lasted 3 months, and after our 3 months, I thought that it was safe to tell him that I wasn't straight, per se. At that point, I was still questioning what I was, so I thought I was just bisexual, but I'm actually pansapiosexual, which is kind of hard to explain, but that's what I am. I'm pansapiosexual.
I suffered with depression, and I just couldn't cope. I went to the doctor eventually, and was put on medication. My depression was so severe that I didn't want to live anymore. I didn't know what to do with myself. I didn't know who I could talk to. I'd never used to talk to people about my feelings, and I used to just write them down or bottle them up, which isn't good.
But I thought I could trust him enough and his few close friends to tell them that I was bisexual and that it wasn't anything new about me, it was just new information about me, so I didn't think it would change anything. But a week after that, he broke up with me, and he told anyone who asked why we broke up that it was because I told him I was bisexual.
When you're 18 years old, a lot of people just think, oh no, you're not depressed, you know, you're just going through a rough patch, you'll be fine. Then tried to cover it up by going out a lot. I was drinking a lot. Basically, I tried to forget everything, and it wouldn't go.
He told everyone, and it wasn't a secret to tell, and that just made me fall again. And my mom and I started fighting, and ever since my dad moved out, she and I had become really close, and it's really hard to start fighting with someone that you're so close to.
One night, I came home from a club, and I was on the phone to my ex-boyfriend, and I just broke down.
From August to about just before I started school this year in January, I was self-harming heavily. My arms were always covered in sweaters because I was hiding the cuts, and it was really, really bad. There was even one night where I almost tried to cut deep enough to kill myself.
Mum was downstairs, and I just went down and said, I can't do it anymore. And I was in floods of tears, and she said, right, we will get you the help that you need. I then went and saw my GP. He then put me on stronger antidepressants, and I was referred to a counsellor. And it is good because it gets everything out. Now, I had really hard time with talking to people and putting my feelings into words. I couldn't describe how I felt. So my counsellor said to me, if you find it hard, just write it down. She gave me a book. I wrote everything down, and within a week of going back when my appointment was, which was, I had one once a week with her, and I just put everything onto this bit of paper.
I'm really glad that I didn't, though. It is now May of my 10th grade year, and I still relapse sometimes. I don't self-harm, but there are days when I just want to die. I don't want to go out. I don't want to go anywhere. And I'm not necessarily depressed anymore, but I do fall sometimes, and I do sometimes feel like I could slip back into depression, and there's sometimes weeks on end where I just don't want to be alive.
She actually read half the things that were on it, and she cried with me when she read it back to me, and hearing it from someone else's voice, which was things that I put onto paper, was unbelievably difficult. I then got through it. I was seeing her as a counsellor for about 7 months. I dealt with it. My depression was starting to ease off a bit, so they lowered the dose of my medication, and I got through it. And unfortunately, people don't realise that it is a fact. Young people do suffer with depression.
I think the point is that it's okay to relapse. It's okay to sometimes feel like you're not the best person you can be and to feel alone. But always remember that you've got someone there. I will always be there for you, and I think that's why I started this.
And it's not something that should be taboo. It needs to be addressed in people, because if it wasn't for what happened to me, I've helped many of my other friends who have suffered with depression, who have things bad that have happened to them, and I said, you need to talk to people. If you don't want to see a counsellor, talk to your family, talk to your friends. You just need to get the help you need.
I didn't go through half the shit that Laura went through, but you know, it doesn't matter what your situation is, you can still suffer from depression.
Because sometimes it can't just be brushed under a rug, and it does need to be sorted professionally. But if you don't want to go on the route of medication, then talk to people. It's not hard, and if I can get through it, so can you.
If you have depression and you're saying, oh, but I don't have it that bad, people are always having it worse, don't say that. You're suffering from depression, and it's something that you need to accept and work through. Just please get the help you need, because I don't want you to be sad. I want you to be happy, and I want you to live a full, happy life.
So this is me, Laura, also known as Curiosity Killed the Cat on YouTube, signing out and saying, take care and God bless.
I hope this helped you in some way. Bye guys. Alright guys, I hope that those stories inspired you to get through your own depression. And if you're not going through depression, just know that if you ever do, there are people there for you, and we do want you to get through it. And it's not as difficult as it seems, even though the climb is really hard. But remember, the view is great. Yes, I did just quote Hannah Montana, don't judge me. Thank you to Laura, aka Curiosity Killed the Cat, for being in this episode, and I will get other guest stars from small YouTubers, and I will try to reach out to big YouTubers, even though I know that probably won't happen for quite a long time, but I'll work on it. If you want to follow Curiosity Killed the Cat on her YouTube adventure, I'll leave her links down there below, as well as the Dear Friends social media links and all that jazz, so that if you want, you can ask us questions, send in confessions, tell us stories, anything you want to, and as soon as I get enough questions or stories or confessions, I will do some advice videos and confession videos and story videos to try and help you guys. If you want to be a part of that, you can follow all the social media links in the down bar below, or you can email us. All of the links will be down there, I promise. If you know of some people who are going through depression and need some inspiration to get through it, you can please share this video or show them in real life, or anything you want to do in order to get it seen and heard, to help as many people as possible. That's all I'm here for. I just want to help. I'll see you guys soon with a new video. This was Mia from the Dear Friend Project, and I love you.